think it's safe to rest here now. I think Hoodle senses something.
Mahag, Saar. That makes 4 out of the 5 realms that I've visited now.
I wonder what kind of lord we're gonna find there.
It doesn't matter. If they try to get in our way, we'll take them down and that'll be that.
Out of our way! If it's in the sky, it's mine!
Dragon Swarm!
Raging
Try
Storm!
this on for size! It's over!
Swallow Flight! You got this. They wrecked you! You gotta jump for cover, okay?
You're finished!
Talon
You're on!
I'll stop its charge!
Thanks, Kisara!
Eat it! I'll finish you here and now!
Now!
You're
Zero!
mine!
Get toasty!
Bird strike!
Right, next one!
Already on! Luna Rondo! Do it!
Looks like it could be worth something.
Go no further!
Pierce through! Eat this! Swallow blade! Lightning throw! I'm not done! How about this? Luna Rondo!
Do it!
You're on!
Astral energy! Full throttle! Go!
All aboard the victory train!
Overconfidence can bite you in the butt.
What's this thing?
Hoo hoo. Hoo! Hoo hoo hoo. Hoo! Maybe something's going on in the forest. This'll be a delicious piece of cake!
Dragon Swarm! Be still! I'm not done! Luna Rondo! You're on! You're mine!
You require a hand.
Now!
More! Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade! See that?
That training's paying off.
Sword!
Let's keep our eyes on the prize.
There's something in the water. I didn't realize there was a pond here.
Yeah, this is Taka Pond. And it happened to have saved my life once upon a time.
What do you mean?
As a kid, I survived life under the past lords by escaping here when I needed to. It's terrible to swim in, but great for catching a bite for dinner away from Renin eyes. Bear in mind, our rations back then weren't enough to live off of. You had to take matters into your own hands if you wanted enough food to survive.
But how did you catch them? With your bare hands?
That might take a while. Fish are prone to swim away at the first sign of trouble. I'd put bait or a lure on a line and use it with a fishing rod. You must not be familiar with fishing if this sounds new to you. Here, let me show you how it's done. Now where might those fish be? Ha! There we go. We can get a good meal out of this fella.
That flapper was a true fighter.
Ha! There we go. Dagnabbit! It got away. Reel it in. You gotta know when to quit. Reel it in. Well, it's not bad, per se.
Maybe you could keep it as a pet.
There we go. Anybody could reel in that.
That went pretty well.
I've got something. Boy, that's a bit of a letdown.
Maybe you could keep it as a pet.
I've got something. I'll catch something bigger next time.
You take your fishing pretty seriously.
And that's all there is to it.
Wow. It seems like you need to have good reflexes to catch anything. I don't know if it's really for me. Kisara? I think I've seen enough.
Oh, sorry. I guess I'm just in my own little world when I go fishing.
Looks like we're going to be here for a while.
That's how fishing goes. You wait for a bite, and then the real battle begins. Miguel told me that different fish live in different regions, and you have to pick the right rod and lure for what you're hoping to catch.
But that doesn't change the fact it's a giant time sink.
Of course, each fish has its own unique flavor, too. And some of them are supposed to be extremely delicious.
When you put it like that, maybe it's worth me trying my hand at fishing after all.
You're just in it for the food.
I was hoping we'd get to fish during our travels. And it just so happens I made sure to grab my brother's old rod before I left Vicente. So, if you ever feel like fishing when we've got a little downtime, just let me know.
Good to hear. Thanks for showing us.
Okay!
Judging by the...
I'm always amazed what healing arts can do.
Just doing my job. No need to thank me.
You guys want to rest here?
Hey. Is it just me, or have those two barely spoken a single word to one another?
I know, right? But after everything that happened with Miguel, is it really any wonder?
Kinda puts a damper on the whole journey, though, huh? How long do you think they're gonna keep this up?
If it bothers you that much, why don't you ask them?
Why do I have to ask?
How come you walk together like that?
She really doesn't beat around the bush.
You mean Kisara and myself?
You hadn't noticed? You've been practically joined at the hip ever since we left Vicente.
I guess it's force of habit, most likely. I was always ready to protect him, should the need arise. It sort of came with the job description.
Right. From being in the Elder Menancia Guard. Although, Dohalim's pretty capable of defending himself, isn't he?
Having guards doesn't necessarily mean the one being guarded is weak. No one's perfect all the time.
Even so, it's not like they're entirely wrong, Kisara. You're no longer in my employ, after all.
I don't know. I mean, if it's what she's used to and you're both comfortable with it, then who are we to judge?
But she doesn't serve him anymore. It isn't normal for her to keep following him around like she still does.
You know, she's probably right. And a lot has changed over the last few days. I guess it wouldn't hurt to rethink our relationship in light of the new circumstances. Perhaps I'll give it some thought after all. Does that sound all right by you?
Of course.
You might want to stop asking his permission for every little thing while you're at it.
Sorry. It's not that easy, shaking off old habits. I'll probably need a little time to get fully used to it. I've noticed that sometimes we come across enemies who fight like you, and try to dodge our attacks at the last second.
I hate those guys. I can get some hits in when they move into attack, but otherwise they slip past damn near everything else I throw at them.
If what you're seeking is a way to more reliably hit them, there is a solution.
Try to outclass them on reflexes?
I possess the ability to command Earth elemental beings to some extent. They emerge as the land itself and take root on my command. They will swiftly bind the enemies, at which point you can dispatch them.
Huh?
What he means is that he can make plants grow to hold the enemies in place. At least I think that's probably what he's saying.
I'm glad at least one of us understands him. So basically, if we find an enemy that likes to dodge, we should let Dohalim handle it.
I shall do what I can within my modest means to help.
I'm impressed how well balanced this thing is.
Why are you looking at me like that?
That armor you wear is standard issue for the Menancian Guard, right?
Originally, I've added some flair to it in a lot of places.
I noticed. especially with that open back.
We guardsmen pride ourselves on never showing our back to our enemies. It's my way of making myself live up to that. Plus, it makes it that much lighter and easier to maintain.
Dohalim, do you have anything to say about this?
Every guardsman is allowed to wear their armor as they see fit.
And you, Law?
Huh? Why are you asking me?
All done. Come and eat.
You okay, Shion? You're not eating very much.
What's wrong? Do you not like the cheese fondue that you made?
Yeah, I'm used to seeing you more excited about food.
You're not feeling sick, are you?
No, I'm fine. It's nothing like that. It's just...
What?
I guess I just don't understand what the appeal is. We could just as easily put everything on a plate and pour the cheese on top of it instead.
I suppose it lies in being able to decide exactly how much cheese you want. There's also something to be said for enjoying how it all turns out. It's fun.
That's fine and all, but I wish the plate-to-mouth time was shorter.
I think I understand. You don't like having to put in so much effort into eating something, do you?
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. Actually, now that I think about it, you're a way less fussy eater than you look, Shion.
In my book, there's no one right way to eat a meal. Tuck in, take your time, be dainty or devouring. As long as you enjoy the food, that's what counts.
There's no need to stand on ceremony while we're out camping in the wilderness.
Yeah, you're right. In that case, don't mind if I do.
I've never seen someone dump that much cheese on a meal before. Isara, let's talk for a bit. Maintaining your shield? It's becoming a familiar sight.
Miguel was the one who taught me how to maintain my equipment after I first joined the Guard. Now, it's just a part of my routine.
Your brother always seems to come up whenever I talk to you.
That's because we had no other relatives, so it was just the two of us growing up. He was my idol, the one I looked up to and wanted to be like. When I became a guardsman, Lagiel wasn't too pleased to see me at first. It was Miguel who really welcomed me aboard.
Lagiel? Oh, right. She was Miguel's second in the Gold Dust Cats, wasn't she?
That's right. She's always been a very critical and down-to-earth person. In other words, the complete opposite of a dreamer like me.
You're more an idealist than some pie-in-the-sky dreamer.
Even so, that's my brother's doing. He'd never let me stop seeing a brighter world. He always did what he could to keep me smiling and happy.
You must have meant a lot to him.
He wasn't just kind either. He always worked so hard to set an example for me and everyone else around him. He was a true big brother. So much so that when he thought I was asleep, he'd slip out of the house to go training on the outskirts of town.
You seem to know a lot about it.
That's because I only pretended to be asleep and would follow after him. You know what? I'm at a good stopping point with my shield. If you've got time, how about I tell you a couple more Miguel stories?
I guess I'd better get comfortable.
I'll take watch tonight. It's okay. Before we go, do you guys have everything?
Something feels odd here. Be on your guard.
I just noticed none of you other Danans have spirit cores. Why is that?
Both of my parents were part of the resistance in Calaglia. In fact, my birth was kept a secret from the Renans.
Mine too. We always lived in hiding, so I never had a spirit core embedded in me like I was supposed to.
What about you, Alphen? You were a slave in Calaglia before all this, weren't you?
To be completely honest, I'm not sure why I don't have one. All the other Danan slaves around me did. I was the only exception. They tended to keep their distance from me to avoid attracting any attention from the soldiers, because of my mask and all. What about you, Kisara? Do you still have your spirit core?
No. I was able to find a good Renan doctor who's sympathetic to our kind, and had them remove it before I left. They did such a great job, the procedure didn't even leave a scar.
One of the benefits of coexistence, huh?
I know that once the spirit vessel was shut down, there wasn't much need for me to hurry. But still, I didn't like having that mark of servitude lingering on me any longer than I had to. It may sound a little strange to hear me say this, but I'm just me now. Not a guardsman or a slave. I'm my own woman, and this is my chance to have a new beginning.
This sure is one rugged road. You'd think they'd keep this at least a little better maintained, right?
Why spend energy fixing that which is rarely used? Repairs require time and effort, which in our world means slaves, often in great numbers. For you, it may be a simple request, but that can quickly become another's difficult burden. Nobody gains anything without someone expending effort.
And you know, somehow that someone always ends up being a Danan, while the Renans are the ones who gain.
True enough. Ideally, in a perfect world, I think it's only fair that the ones who need it should be the ones to perform the work.
However, when doing so could be dangerous like it is here, there are many who would prefer that it be others who risk their lives in their stead.
So, what you're saying is that people will just put up with the inconvenience until someone else comes along to fix it for them?
Indeed. And it is those who can no longer bear that feeling that inevitably take action. Much like the Danans in our group do so now. As strange as it may be to hear such a thing from the likes of myself.
It's true that most of the Danans in Calaglia have been resigned to just accepting things as they are. Still, we can't just blame them for...
What are you making that face for? You're not worn out already, are you?
Nah, just regretting I ever said anything in the first place.
Brace yourselves! This one's tough! Dragon Swarm! Rising One! It's over! Mirage!
My
Double Demon Fang!
Flying freak! Why can't they just sit still?
Sion, can you take care of them?
No sooner said than done.
Lightning Thrust! Strike!
Lightning orb! Raging Cascade!
Mirage!
Go in!
Here I come! Take this!
One more time!
I think we can get through this.
Don't let up until it's over!
Who said anything about letting off?
Lightning Thrust! I'm not done! Stardust! Mirage! Great! My turn! This could be useful.
All right.
nowhere to run from my art. When he slows down, that's our chance.
It's like trying to keep up with a wolf!
Swallow blade!
In here!
Tiger blade! Dazzle! Here I come!
Glacial spear!
Let's move! You're on!
Thunder blade!
Rising wyvern!
One more!
You're mine! You're finished!
Rage
Dragon
cascade!
Form!
One's mine!
Be still!
Steel!
I'm not done! Start up!
Make it rain!
Lightning! Downfall! Dance in the wind!
Take this!
Air drop! Too much to handle?
Doubling! In an instant! Impact blow!
Taking condemn!
Now!
Kisara! All yours, Kisara!
Got some interesting moves there, Dohalim. I'm glad you're on our side.
I'm simply glad to hear that I can make myself useful to you all. Huh?
What's wrong?
We seem to have come across some rather unusual objects.
What, you mean that pile of garbage?
No mere garbage, I assure you. Still, I've never seen anything shaped like it before. I'm intrigued.
Are you curious about this stuff, Rinwell?
Yeah. I think he might have found some old Danon relics. They look like the remains of a bunch of objects that disappeared after the Renans first invaded.
And yet here I am, holding them without so much as a second thought. I imagine the sight must be unsettling to you.
Not really, just that it must be nice to be a Renan who has time to indulge in stuff like that, unlike the rest of us.
Are you interested in this stuff too, Dohalim?
Charmed may be a better turn of phrase. I simply love objects that can give me a sense of what their maker was thinking, the history that went into their creation. You see, we Renans have hardly any such objects that trace back to our distant past.
I still don't understand what you two find so intriguing about it, though.
Why not? We're talking about our own culture here.
I get that, but it's not like this stuff is any use now, does it? It's just old. Real old.
Oh, but it does. Holding it in your hands like this, one can feel and engage with the distant past in a way no history book can ever accomplish.
I'll take your word for it. Well, seeing as it's Danon history, just make sure you're careful with it. All right, Dohalim?
But of course.
You've collected an awful lot of those objects. You sure it's not just junk?
Hush. Be quiet for a moment. The pieces speak to me.
What?
These relics that have scattered about. I can hear them whispering, longing to reunite with their lost friends and become one again.
Really? Do you hear any voices coming from them, Rinwell?
What? No! Don't get me wrong. I'm really interested in these things too, but I'm not crazy.
But don't you sometimes mutter stuff like, "Come to me, astral energy," when you cast your arts?
You're right. Oh my gosh. Are Dohalim and I actually alike?
Its charm really shines through now that it's been reassembled. Its streamlined shape, its geometric patterns. This is no mere amateur's work.
He's in his own little world at this point.
You get just like him when it comes to weapons, you know.
You're right. Oh my gosh. Am I just like Dohalim?
Huh? Why are you guys so quiet all of a sudden?
That treasure. What a sweet-sounding ring it has.
You really think so? Well then, I should probably think about tonight's menu.
Visibility along this path will remain limited for some time. Take care not to get ambushed.
I'm surprised you know the terrain here so well. Lords don't strike me as having much time for wandering in the woods.
Sometimes I would take strolls along here when I wished to be alone.
You always did have a bad habit of disappearing without telling any of us guardsmen.
What's this thing?
We're in for a long slog with this one.
Crash through! Dragon Swarm!
On guard!
Be still!
Take this!
Take this! It's a duel of the arts!
You're finished!
Pesky airborne scoundrels!
Sounds like a job for yours truly.
Astral Arts?
That's my cue.
It's over!
Shut him down!
Swallow Blade! Lightning Thrust!
Raging Cactus!
You're on!
Lunar Corruption!
Dragon Swarm!
Gemini Offense!
Lightning
Annihilation! Lightning Contest! This one's Razor Blade!
Tiger Blade!
All day!
Now!
Hear me! Flame of Fury!
Going in!
Glacial Spear! Lightning
Dragon Swarm! Be still!
Freeze Laser!
You're finished!
On guard!
You're on!
One
I'm not
more!
done!
Annihilation!
Tiger Blade!
Demon Fang!
Make it
Here I
rain!
come!
Now you see what I can do!
You're mine!
Flaming Meteor!
Take this! It's over!
Lunar
Dragon
Corruption!
Swarm! Dazzle! Here I come!
You're most comfortable at a range, aren't you?
I'm not really built for close quarters combat.
Nor am I. Don't worry, I'll help you keep a white burn.
Now!
Kisara! Commander of Heaven! Phoenix Cyclone!
We can really make weapons with this?
We're in for a long slog with this one.
Dragon Swarm! Be still! It's over!
Heal! I'll heal you all! I'm also good with airborne
Here I
targets!
come! I'll take you all off! Now I can laugh! You got flyers!
And
Just like that, I'm back in. Start by holding the front line. No sooner said than done.
Slash!
That's it!
Double Demon
Tiger
Fang! Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno! My turn!
Look sharp!
I'm not done! Swallow Blade! Go! Dragon Swarm!
Tiger Blade!
Dazzle! Take this! Start up!
Going in! Take this!
You're on!
Tiger Blade!
Shut now!
Take this!
I won't rest until I'm the best I can be.
Still striving to be on par with the Lord?
You simply can't be too strong when battle is a part of your everyday.
It's so hilly around here. I can feel my feet getting blisters.
That's mountain hiking for you. It can be pretty tough if you're not used to these sorts of trails.
I take it you're comfortable with them then?
Oh yeah. We used to run up and down these slopes all the time for our training exercises.
Damn. You weren't messing around.
I won't forgive you!
Sonic Thrust! Dragon Swarm! Dazzle! Stardust!
Take this!
Damn it!
Tiger
Dragon Swarm! Take this!
Going in!
You're finished!
Alright, it's
You're mine!
showtime!
Going in!
The enemy wields arts too.
We'll soon see about that!
That gun of yours is real handy in a pinch.
It takes a true marksman to use.
Well, can't think of anyone better than you, Shion.
Dragon Swarm! Rising Wyvern! I'm not done! Rondo!
Shion!
Go for it!
Prepare to crumble!
Think we overdid it?
Not by a long
Flash! Rising Wyvern!
Do it! Look sharp!
Kisara! Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone!
I've still got a ways to go! This one's tough, but we have no choice.
Let me know if you need healing.
Lightning Thrust! Crush! Lunar Rondo! You're mine! It's a ball! Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade! Not a chance! I'm not done! Lunar Rondo!
Do it! I got it.
Got what?
I can chop up vegetable scraps and use them in the seasonings.
Should've known that's what it was gonna be about.
Gotta break through! Swallow Blade!
You wanna play?
Dragon
Come at me!
Swarm! Lightning
Tiger
Thrust!
Blade!
I'm not done!
Light Asteroid!
You're on! Here I come! Dragon Swarm!
Prepare to be seized of fleet of foot. Actually, that sound is more appropriate.
Less talking, more doing.
You're on! Pierce through! Double Demon Fang! Lightning Thrust!
Let's go!
Good shot!
I'm not done!
Wind
Going in.
Take this! It's over!
Let's get you all tucked away.
Take this! It's over!
Tiger
Take
Blade!
this! You're finished! Stardust!
Into the shadows!
Mirage!
Searing blue! Reload!
Take this! Tiger
Take
Blade!
this!
Flame of Attack! Burning!
Here I come! It's over! Double Demon Fang!
Tiger Blade! Make it rain!
Freeze Lantern!
Now!
Here,
Stardust!
first aid!
Okay, here I go! Double Demon Fang!
Look sharp! Make it rain!
You're mine!
Kisara! Go for it!
Prepare to crumble!
I think I'm getting stronger. This might be some decent equipment.
Anything that makes battles easier is okay by me.
More Danon ruins here too, I see.
What were people even thinking back then? Trying to build anything around here.
Maybe they just had that much time and energy on their hands.
What's this thing?
Brace yourselves! This one's tough! thrust! Lightning thrust! I'm not done! Lunar Rondo! Mirage! Lightning thrust!
Make it rain!
Law, get toasty!
Burn strike!
Take it!
Not a chance!
Pounce it!
It's over! Come and face me! Mirage!
There!
Double Demon Fang!
I'm only getting serious now!
Take this!
Dohalim!
All yours, Kisara.
Am I on a roll or what?
Well, look who's in a bright and shiny mood. I sure have built up a sweat with this hike.
Rest assured, we have reached the top. It's all downhill from here, quite literally.
So Mahag Saar's just up ahead then?
Indeed. If you look, across this mountain is the Lord's Keep.
What's this place here? Some kind of old house?
I don't know about that. If I had to guess, it probably served as some kind of shrine.
So still a house, in a sense. Just for a god.
Let's dispose of the trash.
Dragon Swarm! Swarm Blade!
Graviton field!
Come one, come all!
Sleep out! More for the stockpile! Hear me! Flame of
Swarm
fury!
Blade!
Burning!
Double Demon
Ring
Fang!
spear! Pierce evil! Leave the enemy's arc to me!
It's over!
No
Do it!
place here!
Kisara! Frozen!
Hammer!
Nicely done!
Not a chance!
All thanks to you.
Stardust! Lunar Rondo! Mirage! Here I come! You're finished!
Go flat! You're mine!
Be still! You're mine!
Go!
You're finished!
I'm gone!
Lunar
Make it
Rondo!
rain!
Supernova! Go for it!
Prepare to crumble! Don't get careless.
Right, here goes! Sonic Thrust! Dragon Swarm!
This one's mine!
Dazzle! You're mine! You're finished!
Going in!
Mirage! You're mine!
Tiger Blade!
You're finished!
Lightning orb! Alright, it's
Take this!
showtime!
Going in! Take this! Their arcs were interrupted! This one's mine!
We turned the tables on him.
There are still more left!
Right, no time to hold back.
This one's mine!
Doing short work of that. Coming through! Ha! Melt! Scarlet Inferno!
Here, let me
Not a
help!
chance! I'm not done!
Going in!
Slash! Sonic
it.
Thrust!
Tiger
Dragon
Blade!
Swarm! Dazzle! Here I come! Ha! Start
Now,
up!
pounce it! Frozen!
Hammer! Now that's what I call ice!
Together, I knew we could do it.
That's far enough!
Sonic Thrust!
Going in!
Dragon Swarm!
By the power of water! This one's mine! Take this!
Dragon Swarm!
Tiger Blade!
Dazzle! You're mine! It's over! Start up! Mirage! You're mine! You're finished! Pierce through!
Leave the ensnaring to me. Yeah, and pummeling to me.
Mirage!
Tiger Blade!
No escape!
Lunar corruption!
Here I
Lunar
come!
blast!
You're finished!
This This one's mine!
Careful! Here I come! You're big!
Do it!
Soda! Shion!
Get toasty!
Bird strike!
I can feel my precision improving.
An opponent like this should be easy.
Glacial
Dragon
Spear.
Form!
Fierce Evil. Going
Castle! You're mine! It's over!
Tiger Blade!
Mirage!
Right here! I got you! Lift up!
That's it! You're mine!
Blade!
It's over! I owe you one. Swallow Blade!
Look sharp!
You're finished!
Glacial Spear.
Mirage!
Law! I'll stop your movement!
And I'll stop your life!
Here I go.
Now! You're mine!
Condemned.
Stardust! Lunar Rondo! Mirage! Dohally! In an instant! Impact Claw! Not a chance!
By the power of water.
I can feel my power growing!
And thus our strength yet grows. Through these lands most verdant green, my eyes alight for sights unseen. In Menancia, pure and pristine.
What is it you see exactly?
That's not for me to say.
What's that big tower over there?
Judging by the stench, I'd say the animals at the ranch are all grown now.
Want something to munch on, Hoodle? Dohalim, care if I hang out for a while? You worried about what's going on with Menancia?
What makes you think that?
Well, you were speaking to Kisara earlier, weren't you?
It's rude to listen in on others, you know.
Sorry. I didn't hear what you two were actually talking about, though. I just figured it was Menancia since it was the two of you.
I am but a former lord who has abandoned his post. I'm no longer in a position to lead the realm in any capacity whatsoever. Yet Kisara still seeks out my opinions, knowing full well that is the case. This despite the fact I am no longer her master either.
Couldn't it be precisely because you're not her master anymore? It's natural for friends to want to hear each other's opinions.
I hadn't considered that possibility.
It's funny what you miss sometimes.
Hardly uncommon among artistic types such as myself. When lordships are decided based solely on one's astral energy, it can lead to funny results.
But even so, you still took your job as lord seriously, didn't you?
Certainly. I learned to perform my functions. However, I was less interested in ruling, so much as avoiding life and death decisions. Of course, such a mentality in the end led only to sickening pain and death taking place elsewhere out of sight. I pretended not to see or hear any of it, content to let our supposed peace and equality keep me blind and deaf to reality. I was a fool.
But you're making amends.
I would like to think so. The path ahead is dark, yet I still walk on. I merely pray that I shan't fall down any holes along the way. We'd best get ready for tomorrow. Shall we get moving?
Not this way, I guess.
Like this should be easy.
Right here! I got you!
Dragon Form!
Lunar corruption!
Be still! I'm not done! Stardust! Lunar Rondo! Mirage! I'm not done!
Gale Force! You're mine!
Pesky airborne scoundrels!
Sounds like a job for yours truly!
Let's get you out of the way. Leave the enemy's arc to me.
Dragon Form!
No complaints here!
Hear me, flame of fury!
Stardust! Mirage! Here I come!
Lightning condemned!
It's over!
Make it rain!
Go for it!
Prepare to crumble! Think we overdid it?
Now! Here I come!
Not by a long
You're
shot!
finished!
You are in tip-top
Now!
shape.
As soon as I'm done here,
This one's
come help
mine.
out.
How could a girl ever say no?
These little ones are hardly worth our time.
Less talking, more pummeling.
Do it! Cut them apart to your heart's
Don't
content.
leave! In an instant! Impact clock!
I feel sprightlier than before.
Guess I misread the landing. Still thinking about how to act around Dohalim?
That obvious, huh? Except I don't think I'll be changing much after all. Don't get me wrong, I'm not going to stay his servant. However, I am going to treat him like a fellow comrade, the same way I would with you or anyone else. For as long as I can remember, I've spent my life protecting others. But isn't that what friends do too? Support and protect one another in times of need?
Which in the end pretty much means doing as you've always done, right? If that's what you're most comfortable with, I'm certainly not going to give you any grief over it.
Actually, I've been thinking about how I ought to act around you all as well.
Oh?
When I set out on this journey, it was to rid Eldam and Sia of its enemies, and search for wisdom in the outside world. Wisdom that I could potentially put to use on my return. I'm grateful to you all for letting me tag along. But it got me thinking, what am I actually contributing by being here?
What are you talking about? You know how to hold a weapon, don't you? That's help enough.
Is it though? Sometimes I wish there was more I could be doing to pull my...
Oops, sorry about that. Jeez, I'm famished.
Now that you mention it, what do you guys normally do for food and meals when you're out and about on your travels?
What do you mean, what do we do? We find stuff to eat and eat it. So long as it's meat, I'm not fussy.
Eating what you like can be good for morale in the short term, but you need to think about your diet if you want to stay healthy.
Does that mean eating vegetables too?
Isn't that obvious?
It does, which I guess hasn't been happening up till now.
Yeah, to be honest, we could be eating better than we do.
Understood. In that case, I'll just have to make sure you're all staying healthy and eating right myself. Fortunately, I happen to know a thing or two about cooking as well.
You hear that, Law? Sounds like you'll be eating your greens after all.
What is it?
No, sorry, it's just... I was just wondering if you had any thoughts on all this.
It will do her good to have a project.
No, not Kisara. I meant you. Was there anything you wanted to add?
Me? Certainly you're not looking to me for culinary skill, I hope.
Typical Renan, leaving everything to someone else.
Rinwell, I don't think...
That said, should you need my skills on the battlefield, please rest assured I have no intention of shirking my responsibilities, regardless of who we may face.
I'm sure no one doubts that. Listen, guys, if we're traveling together, we should probably at least try to make an effort to get to know one another, don't you think?
I wouldn't get your expectations too high in that regard. Believe it or not, sometimes I'm not sure I even know myself all that well.
Something wrong? You look like you're deep in thought.
Not exactly. I was merely thinking about you two and your sense of etiquette.
Oh?
Etiquette?
Indeed. To be quite frank, I find your lack of manners to be nigh intolerable.
That's not being frank, that's being and forget it. Do we really need to talk about this now?
Yes. I find such impropriety on your parts to be deeply unsettling. It concerns me greatly.
What do you want us to do? We were slaves. We never got to learn how to be proper like you.
Yeah, what he said. Maybe you missed how we were just focused on surviving.
Perhaps, but Kisara here demonstrates that it's quite possible for a Denon to learn proper manners.
That's because I was given the opportunity to learn. Moreover, my duties as a guardsman required it. Not every realm is like Menancia, as you well know.
Yeah, I don't think it's fair to hold us to some other city standards.
Exactly. You've got to remember what it's been like for us living under the Rena elsewhere.
I will concede that you do indeed make a valid point. It would appear, for all my espousing the virtues of equality between our peoples, I was still looking down on the two of you.
You don't need to beat yourself up. I wasn't that offended by what you said, man.
Nevertheless, I shall mind my words from here on out. Having said that, I do believe you two would still benefit from learning the basics of proper society. I would be more than happy to teach you both when we camp out, if you like.
Yeah, no, I'll pass. Acting all prim and proper isn't really my style.
If you say so. How about you, Law? Would you like to learn? Although I suppose my first task is to reform your attitude toward the idea of good etiquette.
You're not gonna let this go, are you?
Hey, let's stop for a minute.
What's up? You already tired?
My armor's pretty heavy. I think I need a little rest.
I second that. All of this walking is starting to take its toll on me as well.
What? You don't look it.
We can't spare the time. There's places we need to be. Mahag Saar's capital, Niez, is our destination right now.
But if one of us collapses, it will only serve to slow us down. And in your case, Alphen is the only one who could carry you. Best to rest while you have the opportunity.
Enough already. I need a break, so we're taking one.
I don't need you fretting over me.
Fretting? Hey, it's not like I'm... Been looking for you. For me? Why?
He's tough.
Who are you? Said you were looking for me. Why?
Beautiful, precious life.
What the...
That is all I desire.
Then why are we fighting? Who even are you?
On guard!
Drop here! Lightning thrust!
One more!
You're mine!
Look
You're
Going
You're
in!
mine! Who the hell are you? Bastard!
This guy's not normal.
His speed is unbelievable.
You mean he even surpasses a lord?
All right!
Take this!
Downfall! Thunder Blade! Raging Storm!
Try harder!
Healing
On guard! All right!
It's
where
over!
was
I'll
it?
smash you!
Reload! Lightning
Here I
Radiant!
come!
Downfall! I'm out of ammo! Back again!
Go in.
Win!
Take this!
Hear me!
Here I come! Here!
Lightning
Here I come!
Going in!
You're finished!
Burning Tiger Blade!
You're finished!
Can't be swirl! Healing Circle!
I open it!
Rob's in pain.
You're mine!
All right, here I go. Now, where was I?
Raging Storm!
One more!
Tunnel!
Take this!
This one's mine!
Here I come!
Tiger Blade! Burning Strike!
Here!
Raging...
Is that all that you've got? Very well. Then die. A wretch like you? Till next time.
Shion, wake up, please!
Alphen?
Shion!
Thanks, but you're kinda crushing me.
Sorry.
It's okay. And so am I. It's not as bad as it looks.
Not bad. That's... Shion, we thought
I'm
you were...
fine. Really.
What the hell were you thinking?
Well, you were trying to protect me too, you know.
Yeah, but I have the sword. It's different.
It's not different. Besides,
Hmm?
Never mind. It's nothing. Anyway, thank you.
But I didn't... Look, I'm just glad that you're...
Alphen?
Sorry.
That guy said he'd be back. I think maybe we should get moving before he returns, right?
Rinwell has a good point. We need to go. Shion, are you sure you're okay?
Shion, are you sure you're okay?
Yeah, I already applied some healing arts to it. It didn't even leave a scar.
But his sword went nearly straight through you.
I'm all right. Unless I've turned into some kind of ghost and I'm haunting you all right now.
No, I know you're not. It's just...
Look, I appreciate you looking out for me, but I'm fine, really.
There was also that strange light that appeared when Shion was stabbed. It seemed to make the enemy retreat when he saw it. Alphen, do you have any idea what it might have been?
A light? I don't know. I was kind of preoccupied with other things at the time.
Now that I think of it, between that light and the blazing sword, just what sort of person are you, Alphen? Can you use Danon astral arts like Rinwell, perhaps?
He wouldn't know, Dohalim. He doesn't have any memories from his past, remember? Besides, we should really be getting out of here.
I suppose you're right. Forgive me. We've almost reached Nias, the capital of Mahag Saar. With any luck, we'll find a place there for Shion to rest. Hey.
How are you holding up after that last fight? You're not too hurt, are you?
I'm fine, really. See for yourself.
If things get too tough out there, go ahead and fall back. I can take a beating if I need to.
I'm not here just to stand around and have everyone protect me.
I get that, but there's nothing wrong with admitting you have weaknesses too.
Do I look like I'm just trying to put on a brave face to you?
I can't feel pain, but you still can, can't you?
Look, I appreciate you're trying to look out for me, but even you go down in fights from time to time. Please, stop trying to babysit me. It's getting old.
It's not that. I just...
Are we in the right place? This place looks like a mess.
Yes, this is Niez, the capital of Mahag Saar.
I don't see any signs of people. And the buildings.
Yeah, this doesn't seem like the kind of place people would actually live.
No soldiers, no Danans, not a soul to be seen. Yet look at these facades. This is clearly a Renin district.
Hey, check out that drawing on the castle gate. That's the Darkwing's crest. It's from an old Danan legend about a hero who defeated an evil king with a torch and their trusty owl. That's his crest. I'm sure of it.
Really? First time I'm hearing it. So if someone drew it on the gate...
It must mean the Renins have lost control of the city.
Are you suggesting the Danans rose up and defeated the Lord here? Hard to believe, but not entirely unthinkable, given the evidence.
Let's look around and see if we can find someone. They might be able to tell us what happened. This is horrible.
Is there truly no one here?